Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys 5 builds that are most likely going to get nerfed in the upcoming patch, but you gotta try them right now if you're looking for some free MMR. These are also very fun builds that we've seen throughout TI, and I have one for almost every single role. So regardless of what role you're playing, I'm going to give you a fun build to give Dota a little bit of spice, and let's get into it. By the way guys, if you want to become absolutely broken, well, what you need to do is sign up to the GameLeap website down below right now. The reason why you should do that is because every single day we post a new video there. Content that you simply just will never get on YouTube, we post every single day to the website. It's really top tier stuff. I'm very proud of what I make over there. We also have other creators, many of my great friends who are top tier Dota players, creating guides about different heroes, different roles, different items, skill builds, talent builds, everything you need to know to get to the next rank. So if you feel a little bit lost, you're a little bit stuck, click the link down below. I'll see you guys there. And now let's get into the video. Alright, so the first build we have to talk about is the Collapse Magnus. If you aren't familiar with why Magnus is so good right now and you kind of just were watching the tournament in and out, basically you skewer horn toss people into your fountain or towards your team, and it allows you to just get a ton of kills. Now, what is the item build that you want to go? So I want to break it down from starting items to finish. So starting items to finish, you're going to start with a Quelling Blade, 2 Gauntlets, 2 Branches, into Tangos. After the Tangos, you're going to buy a Ring of Regen. This Ring of Regen is not Ring of Health, to be very clear. It's a Ring of Regen, and it's going to build into a later mech. The reason why I like this build is Magnus inherently has sustained problems. The hero's base regen is mediocre at best, and as a result, you don't have any healing ability, so you need regen items. So Tangos and this Ring of Regen is the way you're going to play around that. After that, you're going to buy Arcane Boots. This lets you spam your Q and your Empower. After that, you're going to go into Headdress, into a Wand. After that, you have a couple of options. After the Headdress, you can go into Mech if your team is going to have a hard time making plays. The Mech build is much better for controlling an area of the map and farming. You might be like, Mech for farming? Yes, Mech for farming, because it makes you very hard to get ganked. And it gives you a lot more sustain. If you get gone on, you can always pop the Mech to heal. With Mana Boots, it's totally fine. After that, you're going to go Blink. After Blink, you're going to go Shard. After Shard, you're going to go Force Staff or Aether Lens. And after Aether Lens or Force Staff, you're going to buy the other one. And that is how you want to play the hero. Basically, what you're doing is you're playing around your talents. If you aren't familiar with Magnus's skewer talents, he has some of the best talents in Dota. At level 15, he has -7 skewer cooldown, and you combine that with maxed out skewer, and you have a 9-second skewer cooldown. You can also imagine in the late game, you can buy Octarine. That will allow you to have basically a 7-second cooldown skewer. That skewer is also going to be amped by your 425 skewer range. And basically, you can bring anyone. Recently, I was playing Magnus in a ranked game on my 7.5 MMR Smurf. And this tiny, like 40 minutes into the game, walked up the hill. I horn toss skewered him, basically to my fountain. Didn't make it to the fountain. He had Aegis, by the way. I refreshed, did it again. Brought him into my fountain, RP'd him in my fountain, and killed him twice. A 4k HP Tiny with Satanic. I solo killed him twice with no damage item. And that's basically this Magnus. You just bring people out of position. It is literally one of the most fun builds in Dota right now. Honestly, it is just a genuine blast to make people just want to go insane because they aren't able to play the video game. They just get brought. Like, even they had a Medusa as well. Same team. I was just literally killing them with towers. So yeah, I can't recommend this build enough. Next up is the Tiny build. If you haven't played Tiny, guys, you gotta give it a shot before it gets nerfed. It's literally so much fun. One of the most fun heroes to play in Dota right now. It just flash farms, it's a good laner, it scales incredibly well, and when it hits its Exodia timing, it just goes insane. So, here's the item build. For starting items, similar to the Magnus, 1 Tango, 2 Gauntlets, 2 Branches, Quelling Blade. After that, you're going to go Gloves of Haste into Boots, basically rushing Treads. It's the highest DPS item on Tiny by quite a long shot. After that, you're going to go Soul Ring. The armor's really nice, previous to the level 6, you need the mana, so on. After that, you're going to buy Sage's Mask, complete that into Oblivion Staff into Echo Saber. After Echo Saber, you're going to go Shadow Blade. After Shadow Blade, you can go Silver Edge. After Silver Edge, you want to buy your Shard. After Shard, you go BKB. After BKB, generally you're going to go Blink or Satanic. The reason why you would go Blink is if your team lacks a direct initiator. For instance, Ame in the Grand Finals match, even though he did end up losing, had no direct initiator. He had a Kunkka, Lycan, Scarith, and Enge. Kunkka's initiation is slow in the late game. The other heroes don't have stuns, so he goes for a Blink. And yeah, basically this hero just pops off. It has some of the most stupid talents into the game. It's 10 strength to level 10. Tree Grab bonus damage at 15. Its shard is obviously ridiculous with unlimited auto attacks. And when you get to the late game, it's just insane. So if you haven't played this hero, I cannot recommend it enough. Just make sure you buy a Satanic in the late game. Otherwise, you generally are going to get kited. It's very important as your like 4th, 5th item that you pick up a Satanic. Just because that item essentially enables you to stand still and auto attack. As well, when you're picking it, you typically want some sort of a buff hero, whether or not that's an Ogre or a Lycan Wolfbite or any sort of attack speed. Beastmaster with drums is a good example as well. Moving on to the next hero is Bane. Now the cool part about Bane is that he's actually being played as a position 4. Honestly, this tournament has really made me rethink my ideas on position 4s. The reason why I say that is for the longest time, I've always flamed people, and for good reason. The stats showed that you would never really pick lane dominators as a position 4 unless it was a very specific hero like Channerench. Sometimes you would do that because the creeps are really good at diving. But what we saw this tournament was ET as a position 4, Bane as a position 4, and not only were they picked as position 4s, they were also laned in the off lane. And that's what this version of Bane does. It kind of just gives your weaker off lanes that want to like flash farm, your Beastmasters, your Magnuses, your Lycans, it just gives them a good lane. Kind of is just that simple. I mean, of course this hero is insane mid game as well, and we'll talk about that too. But yeah, I think Bane is one of the best heroes in Dota right now. Enfeeble might be the most underrated spell in the game, hands down. I mean, its numbers for the longest time have been insane. I've talked about it in previous videos as well. If you don't know what Enfeeble does, it's kind of stupid. Like, yes, it's dispellable, but on a 7-second cooldown for only 70 mana, which is obviously not a lot, right? Only 70 mana, that's literally not much in the late game, especially when you have Aetherlens Ags, which we'll get into. It reduces attack damage by 60%, so if a Terrorblade has 300 damage, he does what? 140 damage, something like that. I'm not going to try to do the math. All you math experts can flame me. He's going to do like 100 something damage, which is freaking nothing. You get 60% of your regen reduced, right? So you don't heal, and your cast speed gets reduced. So basically, you can't play the game for 11 seconds on a 7-second cooldown. Yes, it can be dispelled, but obviously in the late game when BKBs are running dry, that's not necessarily a problem. And in pubs, people don't even buy dispels half the time. So this spell late game is stupid. It is if you can put this on a Morphling, he literally can't play the game on a 7-second cooldown. He can't play! How can you play? The Morphling that has 400 damage will hit for like 180. He can't heal, and his spells take forever to cast. It's stupid. And that's disregarding the fact that he also has a 7-second sleep that does damage on a 13-second cooldown. He has grip, and of course, brains have to keep himself alive. So this hero has some of the most insane mid-game in Dota, and basically the build you want to go is Aetherlens into a defensive item into Ags. There's some games where it's so hard for you to die that you can go Aetherlens straight into Ags, but basically what the Ags does is it summons 2 illusions of your hero, right? So it summons 2 illusions of Bane, and basically if you don't cancel every single one of you and the illusions casting Grip, then Grip won't get canceled. So it's basically impossible to cancel Grip. It's really cool. And on top of that, it lowers the cooldown. So Bane lost 2 out of 16 games on the main stage, and I can't recommend it enough. Getting into the next hero, we have Ember Spirit. This hero has been literally clapping. It was also one of the highest winner heroes of the main stage. I think it also lost like 2 games over like 14 matches. Insane, stupid good numbers. And you can go multiple different routes, but here's what I recommend. Personally, what I think is the best build to go right now is pretty standard, but I think the talents are very important. You're going to go Phase Boots. After Phase Boots, you're going to go into Orb of Corrosion. Into that, you want 1. Of course, you should have Bottle at this point in Quelling Blade, but you want 1. After that, you go Maelstrom. After Maelstrom, you go Axe. After Axe, you go BKB, and you basically run around with your Flame Guard talents. Please take the Flame Guard talents. I cannot recommend them enough. They're so good for clearing waves. They're so good for farming, and they're so good for solo killing people. If you don't know what they are, at level 10, you get 280 Flame Guard absorption. At level 15, you get Flame Guard DPS. Guys, 280 damage block. It's 280 health. You turn it on, and your Flame Guard blocks 800 damage practically. And it stays on, right? So you get a 50 Flame Guard DPS talent. Your Flame Guard does 105 damage per second for 20 seconds. That's 2,000 something damage. Yeah. And by the way, you get Remnants. And last but finally not least is Elder Titan. This hero also popped off on the main stage, having a 57% win rate, being one of the most consistent heroes of the tournament. And basically the build is as follows. You go a stick into boots, or boots into stick, After that, you go phase boots. After that, you go windlace into an Ags. And basically, you clap people. If you don't know how Elder Titan Ags works, it's as follows. You put the spirit on as many people as possible, and for every hero your spirit hits, you get 2 seconds of magic immunity. And so basically, the goal in fights is to hit a stomp. After you hit your stomp, you send your spirit around, connect it onto many heroes as possible, and then clap people down. You unironically 4-shot supports on average in the late game, and that's pretty cool. On top of that, you give a talent that makes you have 25 extra damage per hero that you connect with, which gives you 125 damage if you connect with 5 heroes, giving you usually on average about 400 damage if you hit 5 heroes. And then you get 100% cleave talent. 100%. If you are able to hit a 2-man stomp into a 2-man ulti with 400 damage, you will unironically solo carry the fight. I played a solo queue game recently where that happened. I actually killed both of their supports alone, and then I basically killed their mid laner almost alone, and their safe laner almost alone. It is that good. This hero is stupid. Its passive is stupid. It's a theoretically wonky ability. If you don't know what it does, it makes your base armor go to 0, it makes your magic resistance go to 0, so everything that's cast on you is practically pure. And that's going to be all for today's video. I can't wait for these heroes to get nerfed. I'm excited for myself to be able to play Viper again or something stupid like a Lich position 5. Nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.